the amount of CO2 coming out of our vehicles, but the sort of real politic of the situation is this. This is the emissions regulations that we're seeing coming up, and for all vehicle manufacturers, we have to meet these. And depending on where you're selling your vehicle, there's more and more stringent CO2 regulations coming. And we see them generally at the moment, they're fairly dispersed, so you can almost choose the technology for where you're selling the vehicle. But in the future, it's going to become a lot more harsh, it's going to become harder to get around these, and so we must come up with sort of low carbon technology that allows us to meet these vehicle requirements. Obviously you'll appreciate Jaguar and Land Rover don't traditionally make small vehicles or low emission vehicles, so we're trying to come up with ways of how we produce low emission vehicles. There's a range of strategies out there. There's many ways you can sort of lower the emissions. Really, to get to zero tailpipe emissions, the only way is, at the moment, the most credible way is really an electrified powertrain. And so what are our options under the electrified, or the low carbon powertrain choice? So there's a few things out there. The main contenders really are fuel cells, flywheels, supercaps, batteries, and for low carbon, downsized engines. And so each one of these has its pros and its cons, and there's no outright winner. The downsized engine is probably at the front at the moment because it's technology we know and understand and love to a certain extent, but it has no zero emission solution. You're going to produce some sort of carbon out at the end of this, and out of the end of the vehicle. So we need a way to have this really low carbon vehicle. So we look at the other four types up there. So these are the ways that we can get to this low carbon powertrain. So there's this metric called energy density. So that really is the amount of energy you can store per gram of fuel source. Power density, the amount of power you can get out of the technology. There's a temperature range. So most of these technologies work in a specific temperature range, and that can be a problem, especially when you're trying to put it on a vehicle like Land Rover, which will see really wide temperature ranges throughout its life, possibly. There's also the technology maturity. Some of this is really nice technology, but it's only just coming out, and so there's a lot of validation that needs to go on with it as well. Self-discharge, that's a bit of jargon, but really it means how long you can store this technology, how long you can leave it alone and come back to it and it still works. Obviously, an engine or a traditional internal combustion powertrain you can just leave and come back whenever you want to. Most of the other technology will have either, in the case of flywheels or